iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Podomatic, and all the other places you might be listening to us. This is the Retrocade Podcast, Episode 4. I'm Phil.
Sean, good to be back.
Yeah, we had a bit of a hiatus. We were gone for 2 weeks. We had to go to Sean's fake house in the Hamptons. We had a little good time. There was a solarium and another solarium, but that's another story. We've got so much to talk about of all the stuff that's happened in the last 2 weeks in the world of pop culture and other garbage. I want to start it off with the big story. The big story has been Jurassic World. Now, this movie, all of a sudden, I had expectations, and I set them real low. And I set them real low because of the nonsense I saw with Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic Park 2, Lost World. I saw those in the theaters.
I mean, I think I saw one of those in the theaters, but expectations on those levels would be in the toilet. But it had definitely had a higher reach than that.
In the toilet. Yeah, because I saw Lost World, not the third one, in 2001. I saw it in the theaters, and that scene, I'm pretty sure the scene, in the Jurassic Park 3, the scene I think everybody knows that I'm going to mention if they're familiar with Jurassic Park, is the scene when Alan Grant is in the plane, and he's sleeping, and he has the nightmare, and the dinosaur starts talking to him. Alan, oh, it's terrible! I almost left. I remember, I'm like, a teenager, I'm like, this is terrible.
If you had a car, but you're like,
yeah, I'm like, well, I gotta watch.
I got another hour and a half.
Yeah, I got another hour and a half to this shit. I'll at least watch the Tyrannosaurus fight.
They were so bad. It literally was about a 12, 14-year hiatus.
Yeah,
they had to just move past it.
It's a 14-year hiatus, and Jurassic World was in development hell for years. They just couldn't decide what or how they wanted to do it. And that being said, I was nervous and weary. Of course, I wanted to see another Jurassic World. I'm a huge fan of Jurassic World.
Dinosaurs are huge.
Jurassic Park, yeah.
It's marketable to adults, children, the whole nine.
Of course, children, adults. I mean, it's action-packed blockbuster movies. Like, it took what Jaws did, it took it to the next level. And it changed the way movies were made after. Like, people say, Star Wars changed movies the way they're made. It's true. But Jurassic Park revolutionized the way computer-generated graphics were used.
Highlighted the capabilities of CGI 1,000%.
Absolutely, and those effects in 1993, done in 92, still hold up today beautifully. Like, I watched the movie the other day. I watched them all. I had Lost World on this morning, and beautiful. I mean,
I don't know how you can watch that.
I don't hate the Lost World.
Hold up.
I can't. I think I have Jurassic Park 3 on DVD for some reason, but I can't stand Jurassic Park 3.
Look at any third movie. Perfect example is Ninja Turtles 3.
Godfather 3.
When they go to
Ninja. Oh yeah, that's a piece of schlock
me
too.
Being in second grade, I'm like, this is terrible.
What a piece of schlock. The first one's really good. Of the Ninja Turtle
Jim
movies.
Henson was another.
That was the top of his game in the first one. That's an enjoyable movie, the first one. But yeah, they started turning into puke.
So, most of the third movies, good for Godfather 3.
Godfather 3, the God Toilet. Oh my God, what a disaster!
You don't put Jedi in that category, clearly.
No, Return of the Jedi doesn't meet that category. Return of the Jedi is great. I don't want to hear it.
Even Terminator 3 was really
bad.
Fuck!
Oh my God! Compared to 1 and 2, a lot of people widely consider the first Terminator to be one of the best science fiction movies of all time. I love Terminator. I love Judgment Day. As a kid, I loved Judgment Day, and that's a great fucking movie. You can't go wrong with either of them. I mean, the first one's a little campy, it's dated, but it's still very watchable as an old gritty science fiction movie. It made Arnold's film career, and but the second one is a really, really good action adventure science fiction movie, that really well done. That's probably my favorite James Cameron. He did the first one. He did T2, yeah, and then I like Titanic too from him, but so I mean, I'm a lifelong Jurassic Park fan. I was a kid when the first one came out, and that movie.
The toys are huge.
Oh, I was on YouTube last night looking at old video. This is one guy. I think it's Jurassic Collectibles. This is his YouTube name, and he's like this old guy from UK.
So he just owns everything.
All the toys, reviews of all the.
Probably in box. I'm obviously assuming a collector of that magnitude.
He's a huge collector of all that stuff, and I'm gonna turn my phone on airplane mode here. But he's a huge collector of all that stuff, and it's so funny the way he talks about it. He talks about them like the priceless artifacts. I was like
his little children.
Yeah, like he did the original T-Rex. I watched the original T-Rex review from '93 or when it came out, and he was like, "This is an absolutely stunning piece, absolutely fantastic. It is enormous." And it was like a 40-inch toy.
He's doing the U.S. Open, like a British golf.
Yeah. And he's talking about like Jurassic Park toys. You know, it's funny,
Which
but
was
it's
the
true.
toy I specifically remember was like a T-Rex. And it had like a cut in the stomach.
Yeah, I watched that one too. That's the bull T-Rex from the Lost World. I watched a few of them last night.
Did it come with like a human cage?
It did. It came in a man in a cage, and it could swallow it, and then like you pull it out of the stomach. Yes. Yep. I had that too.
I think maybe you owned it. I remember vividly. That's my early.
I had a good amount of Jurassic Park
Dinosaur
toys. I was a
memories.
huge fan. You know, like in regards to '90s movies. You know, if you're a little kid in the '90s, I mean, what movies? It's not. You know, Shawshank's not gonna.
They marketed the shit out of it.
Of course, and you know how much Spielberg made off the whole franchise of Jurassic Park, the first movie? $250 million off all the ancillaries.
That's 1993 money.
1993 money. That's $250 million. I mean, now he's a billionaire, but that's crazy to make money. In fact, I think at the time that was the most money a single person had ever made off a movie.
Spielberg's first big payday was probably E.T. though. I know he did very.
Yeah. Oh,
that was a big market.
That was huge.
Giant.
Yeah, he made more money with that than he did Jaws.
Infamous,
that was huge until that was the biggest movie of all time, and until what was it?
Sure, in that era.
Titanic might have knocked it off the.
But even the infamous E.T. video game.
the one for Atari.
That's an episode
within itself. The whole episode of the Atari video game that we
Mexican desert.
It was so terrible that they had to take all the extra copies and literally bury them in the
landfill,
desert.
Yeah,
in the landfill. And now they're excavating them out.
Like the Roswell and
dump these ETs
like
here.
A creepy desert.
Yeah.
Why don't they put the bury corpses and gangster bodies? But
right.
In Mexico, it's
Mexico,
it's
aliens. Yeah, just dump the alien games in there, and now they're excavating them. Yeah, they excavated them. They're like
found them,
dusting them off like fossils.
They had, like city permits. It was a gigantic
that's so funny. There was like a crazy amount of them, like 5,500 of them. The game, because they produced so many of the game, assuming that the movie was such a hit that this game was going to be a hit too.
Right. It made the game essentially in like 6 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, they whipped it up.
Oh,
it was
Christmas. It's like October. Like,
right.
Let's
Christmas, whip up some
game.
product. Yeah, and it was widely considered the worst video game of all time. Yeah, it's like I watched a video over YouTube once, and I was like, oh wow,
it's infamous. How bad
it's infamous.
Is that?
It's notorious, but in like the retro gaming community, like.
I mean, it is unplayable. I had played it once.
You played it?
I had
yeah.
the luxury of playing it.
Or a nightmare. The misery of playing it.
This had to be 15 years ago, and it's unplayable. The game is just
I watched the
cluttered,
gameplay, and it's just terrible.
Entirely.
It probably it looks really like there doesn't look like you have much control over what's going on.
But into Jurassic World itself, though, how would you?
Oh man, Jurassic World. So let's go back. Yeah, so obviously we're both fans of Jurassic Park. Not so much Lost World, and definitely not 3. So I kept but I wanted to see a new Jurassic Park movie. Like, sure, let's see some more dinosaurs, do some things that we, whatever. Let's see it again. So, but I made sure my expectations going in were low because I figured, well, I'm not going to expect a good movie out of this. And if it sucks, I won't care. And if it's good, well then great. And it was good. It was very good. It was the second most engaging, fun blockbuster popcorn movie that I've seen this year. Second only, I think, to Mad Max.
I would say Mad Max is better. I would compare it to the Avengers. They're different, obviously, in numerous levels.
You talk about like in levels of like watchability and everything.
Blockbusters, I would say, I've seen so far in this.
I'm gonna say Avengers is third on my list of those. Like first is Mad Max, Jurassic World at a close second.
Jurassic World, Avengers at a close third. Absolutely fantastic. He got you engaged. See the park.
Yeah.
And I like they kind of played a little homage to the original Jurassic.
Yeah, the homage. Of course. With Hammond or which homage are you referring to?
There's a few different.
Well, there had to be.
It's
a soft reboot,
If you notice an Easter egg, I certainly noticed where they have Jeff Goldblum's book on the desk.
Really, I didn't notice that.
The name is Ian Malkin. The book actually, I looked at. It's called God Creates Dinosaurs.
No way.
So if you look, and it's like his kind of.
His
leather wearing. But if you look very close at the very beginning of the movie, what's the guy's name? I believe it's Jake Johnson. He plays.
He plays the hipster in the control room.
On his desk, he has a Jeff Goldblum character's book.
Oh, he has it. And he also has the shirt.
Yeah, in the shirt, she's like, the redhead woman.
Yeah, that's actually Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Howard, yeah.
That's Ron Howard.
Well, I think she did a fantastic job.
She was good. She was definitely
think
good.
she
That's
did
Ron
very
Howard's daughter. But
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know that until recently either.
I mean, the
So I
red
started looking
hair
her up.
kind of makes sense.
The red hair makes sense.
There's nothing else.
She looked good.
I seen her father at the airport when I was working.
You saw Ron Howard once? You met him?
He ordered cranberry juice, and he was a weirdo.
Homer, we're out of vodka. You know he was a drunk for years, right?
Well, then the cranberry
They made
juice
jokes
makes
about that in
entire
Simpsons.
sense.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me just
He
correct
wears
Cran-
his hat regardless of weather. You know,
He's
still
pretty
wears-
bold now. Homer, we're out of vodka. He had a good directing career.
Fantastic, but like I guess he's still in that Happy Days mindset.
Happy. He was also in American Graffiti. George Lucas's first big hit.
I mean, people actually, the modern and younger generations will know him for his voice in Arrested Development. Does all the narrations.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's him. He does the narrations in Arrested Development.
Another interesting cameo is Vincent, the guy who played Hoskins.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Who's pretty big now.
Hoskins. He's also Edgar in Men in Black. Oh, sugar and water. And then he's also
Fisk in Daredevil, which is
Fisk
a
in
huge...
Daredevil. And then also, of course, Private Pile in Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket.
Like, fat dude. He looks very familiar.
Yeah. Oh, I knew
now
that.
He's huge now.
Yeah, he does so much at Law and Order SVU for years. But, yeah, so, I mean, like, the movie really exceeded my expectations. It was fun. It was well made. It wasn't campy at all. Like, was it a perfect movie? No. Does it hold a candle to Jurassic Park? I would say no, because Jurassic Park, in my opinion, is one of the best,
It was
best
very
blockbusters
unique for
ever
its
made.
time. And if you look at all the movies, we just mentioned 3 movies. They're all sequels, remakes.
Right.
If you look at the other upcoming movies, sequels, remakes, for new films, it's
scarce. New ideas are scarce because
that like are home runs. It's super rare.
Very rare. Like Ex Machina was good, but it was well received, but did it make a huge amount of money?
Fantastic
No.
things. I haven't seen it yet.
It's very good.
It's on the list. Certainly.
Yeah, you gotta watch that. It's very good. And that's another good. Like I didn't pack that in there with the other movies I just said because it's not really a blockbuster, but it was very good. But the thing is that original ideas don't really get made anymore because the studio doesn't have faith in it. It's like, well, it's not a known property, you know, it's very risky. Jurassic World they know is going to make a ton of money. And not only did it made the most money out of any movie. It did the best weekend opening of any movie of all time. It smashed out what's it called? Fast and Furious 7. I mean
that's
So why do you think Jurassic World was so profitable?
right place, right time.
Yeah.
It really stemmed far away from its predecessors, at least the last 2.
Yeah, like people like, you know, because it's been so long since you had a dumpy Jurassic World dinosaur movie.
The technology was on point.
Technology was of course. You don't even have to mention anymore
the story,
that the effects looked amazing. I mean, any movie's effects look amazing.
The story was, I would say, the weakest point of.
Of course, but I mean, like, it was the best way that you could kind of do that movie. At this point in time, it's like you've done it already. Like, how many times are you going to force people to go to this island with murderous dinosaurs, you know?
But it's also like, you know, oh shit, dinosaurs. I feel like that concept would never get old if it ever.
It doesn't, because everybody wants to see dinosaurs. It captures the imagination, just like you said in the first movie.
World, you know.
Yeah, I mean, because
it's colossal creatures.
Right, it's like myth, but it's true myth. You know, it's like dragons and stuff,
Funny,
but they're
you
real.
Dragons was their origin of dragons really was when they saw dinosaur fossils and they couldn't explain them.
Oh, is that
So
it?
that's pretty much where dragons came
But
from.
haven't dragons mythical, like, from earlier than maybe the 1400s or whatever?
But yeah, but you find dinosaurs' bones at that point in time. You're like,
I guess,
what the hell is this?
I guess
There's
if
no
they found dinosaur
explanation.
bones at that
They
time.
never seen an animal of that
Right, I guess. Well,
magnitude.
mainstream excavation of dinosaur bones, I guess, happened in the
last 150, 200
yeah,
years.
150 years. Yeah, like at the late 1800s.
I think George Washington was like excavating dinosaurs.
No, it was after that. It was
all those are Indians. Let's
It
kill
was in
them.
like the old West time when they were finding the dinosaur bones.
Chris Pratt, as I was saying, yeah, he's
If
he's
I
become more of the modern action.
He's
heroes.
become he went from dopey pudgy guy on Parks and Rec.
Yeah, just cracking jokes, being stupid.
Yeah,
but-
he was like the Jack Black of that show. To like,
exactly. It's a funny analogy because Jack Black in action movie, you vomit.
right? You know, but Chris
Like Kevin
Pratt,
Smith, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I find him hilarious, but you're not.
but
he's
you're not,
doing
you don't
any-
believe him as a badass, like, because like even the kid says in the movie, like, oh, your boyfriend's a badass. And it's like, well, yeah, you know, like he does a good job, and you know, he got all ripped. Now he's got 2 bona fide movies where he's an action hero. He's got Guardians, and now he's got Jurassic
Guardians
World.
will certainly be a sequel. I think it's 2 years down the road.
Yeah, no, you can.
They didn't start filming yet.
Sure, but you're gonna see more of them.
It's
That's
certainly signed up. You get that
That we
Marvel
can be sure
bucks.
of.
Look at Downey Jr. It encompassed him, but he made $250 million. I
he
mean,
kills it. All of the Avengers movies is making $50 million a flick, and but yeah, I mean, if I had any doubt for Chris Pratt being the new Indy, they kind of subsided a little more with this. He was like a very, he was more like a Han Solo Indy-esque character. He could probably do the role. In fact, last night I'm looking on eBay for like old Indiana Jones posters. I want to replace one of my posters, and so I'm looking for like a nice frame.
we're talking 70s.
The 80s, it was 1981.
That's the first, yeah.
Yeah.
We were bringing to Jones, and I was certainly.
Indiana Jones is another great one.
I mean, little Nazi villains, I always enjoy those. It's a good character, but.
Yeah. You has the book in your pocket, Dr. Jones. But so I'm looking at one picture, and one of them looks just like Chris Pratt, and I'm like, wow. Like, he might not have all the charisma that Harrison Ford had, or but he's got likability, and
he's super marketable at this.
He's probably
at his prime.
He's definitely
huge.
a gem right now in Hollywood. He's huge, and so the thing is that.
Especially the 80s, if you look.
Even if he's not a perfect choice for the new Indiana Jones, he's by far the best choice.
If you look at the 2000s, what action heroes were there? There's none.
In 2000 what? What year?
The year 2000. In the 2000s, generally. Look at the 80s, yeah.
Jason
Stallone,
Statham.
you have Stallone,
you have bankable
Bruce Willis, Mel Gibson. You have all these
Harrison
Schwarzenegger.
Ford,
I would put Ford into that role.
Yes, you would.
He's but he's not that giant, steroid muscle. Just
you want to talk about like meatbag actual? Well, who do you have in the 2000s? You have like Vin Diesel and The Rock.
Vin Diesel
and Jason Statham.
I mean. He has some great movies for sure.
Yeah,
I would say. Well,
yeah, all right. I like
Snatch is fantastic.
Snatch is
there's a couple others, but the whole
Jason
transporters
Statham.
They get a little repetitive, obviously.
Yeah,
but if you look at Fast and Furious 7, it's complete repetition. The whole
sure, but that was probably like the best one of the few of the franchise. Sequels. A lot of them, the other ones I kind of yawn
Not
through.
to do complete spoilers.
The third one, the second.
I wouldn't say complete spoilers, but
for what Jurassic World.
It's set up for other flicks. The Asian actor BD Wong, he was in Law and Order.
He was the only actor from the original Jurassic Park movie. He aged very well.
He definitely has some dietitians, yoga, or something.
Yeah, 22 years later, he's looking
like
right.
zero rank. He looks like he aged 5 years,
Yeah,
like 25.
Yeah, he just looks a little more mature.
As usual, except this time around, they didn't use the Barbasol spray can to transport the embryos and such.
No, that was good. Customs could even check it if they want to.
It's funny, actually, Barbasol is doing Italian promotion by having like Jurassic
Perfect.
Park limited edition shaving cream. I've actually noticed it. If you go to like a CVS or Target or what have you. But they Barbasol noticed, hey, we gotta tie it in. There is a Jurassic Park like limited edition shaving cream.
Merchandise. Does it open up and you put or does it just have like Jurassic Park?
It just has like a raptor, like shaving as a raptor. What dinosaurs doing shaving is beyond me, but
get a good laugh.
Any marketing ploy is a good one.
Oh sure, it's bankable. The bucks are in there, and like I said, with the merchandising of the first few, just the first movie alone. Spielberg personally made $250 million off all the ancillaries, the franchise, the licensing, so all the licensing for the toys, T-shirts, etc. And the movie.
So what was
the gross points that he made off the movie?
What was his role in this movie? I know
Spielberg.
This guy,
Executive
Colin Trevorrow.
Trevorrow.
Okay, there you go.
However you pronounce it. Indie guy. The only movie that I know that he's done before is Safety Not Guaranteed, which I'm not very familiar with. I didn't see. Indie little flick, but I think that's why they chose him. They chose him because, like, all right, if we take a Michael Bay into this Jurassic Park movie, he's gonna
first off, budget's gonna go off.
Yeah, he's gonna. We need that giant dinosaur in the water, the megalodon or whatever. We need that.
That was a pretty cool dinosaur.
I wish they brought a little. I wish that he ate some people. Instead, it was like spoilers. It was the hero.
Honestly,
I hope you saw the movie already. It's been out for 3 years.
I honestly hope though. Was disappointed there should have been more human casualties. 10 times.
Yes, but that's
a little more carnage adds a little more intrigue.
That's the problem. I think with these movies is that they're not as gritty as they used to be. Like in Jurassic Park, there wasn't like it's a family friendly movie. Like children watch it. Like I watched Jurassic Park when it first came out. I was 5 years old. So
you also like enjoyed Newman's demise of the spinning dinosaur.
Yeah. Spits in his face.
Fat Newman scheming.
Yeah, nice boy. Little cute little boy.
Yeah, it looks like a little like dog dinosaur that spits in his ass in his eyes.
It's got the frills. And spits in his face.
That's one of my more favorite dinosaurs too, the originals.
Dilophosaurus. Yeah. Yeah, I like Dilophosaurus. You know what and of course I've been very up on my Jurassic Park lately. I've been watching rewatching all the documentaries and the makings of. So I'm up
about the original book.
Oh yeah, you ever read the original book? I read part of it. I never finished it, but I know how it ends.
How far
Hammond gets killed?
How far is it stray from the initial?
No, it's relatively close. You know what? A lot of scenes that they missed, they put in Lost World. Also, the kids were reversed. The little boy Tim was actually the older one, and he was also the computer one. The little girl was just like the little girl. But they switched those roles in the movie. They made the girl the older one, and the boy the younger one in the movie. And
so
they made the girl the one that knows the Unix
system.
Yeah, very simple. But for the most part, it didn't steer too far from the book, like a lot of movies.
Hilarious. We were discussing B.D. Wong, the Asian actor.
Yeah.
So as of June 24th, this happened about 8 hours ago.
Ooh, breaking news.
Racial exclusion Hollywood for his small role in Jurassic World.
Really? What did he think he was going to get? He's got a
basically saying because
did he think he was going to be running around fighting dinosaurs?
I think what happened was maybe the contracts for the sequel. He's getting because you're making statements like this.
Yeah, he's not in
have a prominent role in the next movie
or be in it at all.
These directors and
I mean he was good for his role in Jurassic Park. He was good for his role in this.
He played a more villainous role in this.
He did, which I didn't really like. I didn't really care, and then I think about it, and it's like, would he really be like, because in the first one they just put him down as like a smart geneticist guy. And this one he's a smart geneticist with a pinch it for like government money.
He's like, yeah, let's do like private sector bucks.
Yeah, like all of a sudden he's like a greedy, but like
we
didn't need
the
that
tie-ins are completely there because the embryos are in these cryogenic chambers and they're good to go.
Sure.
So there's only so many Costa Rican islands.
I know. And how many times are you gonna keep bringing humans back to the island?
And how about the Costa Rican government? What are they seeing?
Yeah, well, are they getting a percentage? Who's paying for all these lawsuits? Even though that you would assume a lot of people were killed, even if they were killed off screen. Again,
I would hope so.
In the first one, you got to see a lot of the deaths, or at least some of them. I mean, they're like I think the most gruesome part of Jurassic Park, the first one, was when Samuel L. Jackson's arm falls down on Ellie Sattler. She's like, "Oh, Mr.
It's so
Arnold."
Funny that I actually forgot he's in that movie. He's in every movie ever.
That was before he was a big hit. That was the year before Pulp Fiction.
Also resurrected Travolta's career.
Travolta, especially
he was done.
He was done.
Like looked at this like faded.
Yeah,
disco.
He was washed. Yeah, the late '80s, early '90s.
He's like gay rumors circulating him, and
he still goes rumors.
Well, of course, but besides that fact, another what do they call a quarter pounder with cheese? Is it the iconic
a Le Mac with cheese? Is it Le Mac?
Royale with cheese.
A Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
Why did I say Le Mac? I've been watching too much Simpsons. But yeah, it was a Royale with cheese. Why? Because of the metric system.
It was great to John Cryer when they like doing the original scene when they owe them money. John Cryer, 2.5 Men's there, like whining and complaining.
Yeah, he's the one who gets. He's the one who comes out and shoots and misses.
Like he always plays his like bitch punk.
Yeah,
like, even back then.
In '94, he's played some big.
He's just like this nervous, shrewd character. Reminds me of a friend of mine, actually, a little bit. But he just plays this nervous guy constantly.
Nervous guy, and like, he had the balls to come out and shoot at them, even though he missed all 6 shots.
He's sitting. He got a nice bank with. And Charlie Sheen's like, laughable scapegoat. Like,
yeah, it was his foil.
No,
Charlie
exactly.
Sheen's foil.
Charlie Sheen is shit on him for 12 years.
Yeah, it's always. Hey, he made a nice fat paycheck.
I would say he's a millionaire, so he has nothing to complain.
Yeah, I would say so too. So, I think he's the bucks are in the bank. But yeah, back to so Sam Jackson's in it. Hold on, he's got a very memorable line in that movie. Hold on to your butts. Accent. Damn, I hate this hacker crap.
Another like racially charged line, absolutely.
Which one?
The Jackson's spiel on that for
God
sure.
Damn it, I hate this hacker crap. Anybody want a soda or something? Oh, only sweets when I get something salty. When it goes out, and Nedry. But I adore the original Jurassic Park. It's one of my favorite movies in the '90s. It's a bit shaped me as a person a bit, I'd say, along with all the other. Like as for '90s blockbusters goes, I mean Jurassic Park is about as big as it gets. It's better than Independence Day in '95. It's better than Men in Black. Those were the other big blockbusters.
Tie in with another upcoming movie, but this will be a little time to make. Not for the 2015 summer market. Is the female Ghostbusters?
Oh yeah, let's talk about this. We've been waiting to talk about this one.
I read an interesting article actually yesterday. The Ecto Cooler, the fans are demanding.
They want to bring it back. I've heard the petition.
I'm demanding it.
I'm demanding too. I love Ecto Cooler.
It was nostalgic. Even the taste, though, was
great.
Unbelievable.
You can get it.
It was the highlight of the lunchroom.
I think Juicy Juice makes an orange.
No, it was High C made a tangerine flavor.
That's it. It's orange tangerine.
Is the Ghostbuster mark?
Yes, but those flavors are gone now. They made jumpin' orange tangerine.
It was a rare flavor to begin with.
Yeah. It had like lips on it. But they did two different versions of it after the tie-in with the Ghostbusters.
The original Ecto Cooler was tie-in with the real Ghostbusters TV show, which was a great show.
Sure, I watched that.
And I was actually considered buying the entire season on Amazon.
I have it.
Roughly, it's about $100.
Yeah, that's worth it. I tell you, a lot of those episodes are really good, even to watch as an adult. It hasn't been on
syndication for 20 years.
No, it's done. It hasn't been syndication.
I mean, I don't like the USA Network, which had like a small kind of defunct cartoon thing in the Saturday mornings. Right. Aired it maybe in the mid-90s.
Yeah,
it was already dead.
The latest. Yeah.
That's what I made Ecto Cooler fascinating with the iconic Slimer on the box.
Oh, it's great.
Was the juice outlived the show by about 8 years.
That's so funny how it's true, because the show ended in, 92 or 93?
The drink ended like 97.
The drink was as late as 97 or even 98. It outlasted the show for like 5 years. Yeah. Totally.
But that's why this nostalgia is massive.
It's massive nostalgia because and it was long. It goes from, I think it started in 80, whatever, maybe 86, 87, and it went on for a full 10 years. This tie-in, which is like rare for even a TV show tie-in. You know, it was such a staple for.
And you think too, Coca-Cola, which owns Hi-C.
Yeah,
they're all about marketing and influence.
Naturally,
movies, tie-ins. This would be a spectacular time for the Ecto Cooler to make reemerge.
But the thing is that it's a real Ghostbusters tie-in. So how would they you think they could just slap the same graphic likeness, the same cartoon?
These are the three.
Yeah, Sean's pulling up a picture. I'll throw them on the Retrocade podcast.
Shoutin' Orange Tangerine, that's Crazy Citrus Cooler.
The lips, like I said, the Shoutin' Orange.
That was after.
These are
the original.
That's the 80s one.
Remember.
I don't even remember that one. I remember the 90s packaging.
I remember this logo for sure. The top one.
That's the one. That's the 90s one. I'll put all the pictures up on the Retrocade podcast Facebook page so we could take a little visual.
The time is now. I would definitely.
Oh yeah. I mean, what I've done in recent years, I a lot of times in the summer I'll get nostalgic for my youth and my summers of my youth, and 4 or 5 years ago I was getting really nostalgic for Ecto Cooler, and I even have on my refrigerator, I have a little magnet for the old Ecto Cooler. But in the 90s, I was getting nostalgic, and I was like, I want to taste Ecto Cooler, because it's a certain taste that orange tangerine. So what I did was we found a flavor.
Nostalgia tastes better than whatever it was, but it was.
No, it wasn't bad, that orange tangerine. And so what we did was.
It was definitely a unique orange taste.
It was orange tangerine. So we got I think it was Juicy Juice orange tangerine. If it wasn't Juicy Juice, it was a similar, whatever. And then we put green
Hi-C.
I know Hi-C was the original, but they don't make that flavor anymore. So we were looking for a similar flavor a few years ago. And so I know Hi-C originally made it, and they changed the names, but they don't even produce that flavor anymore. So you can't even get that
crappy diabetes punch.
Yeah, diabetes punch, sugar punch, and then we found an orange tangerine. I think it was super Juicy Juice. We put green food coloring in it, and it tastes almost like it. It was almost a very close match. And the smell
green
too
was big. Well, that's how they tied in the slime.
Of course, they tied in the slime. You made it green, and but if you notice, the last few years of I'm pretty sure for Ecto Cooler, even before it became Shoutin' Orange Tangerine or whatever they changed the name to, they made it colorless, because that was a big thing in the 90s. No stain juice. It might have been for Shoutin' Orange. I would assume. I guess Ecto Cooler was green the whole way.
It's funny because you look at Capri Suns; they're typically colorless as well. And that whole juice. I mean, I haven't drank a juice box in quite some time,
but they were colorless because that was like a big thing. Oh, stain! Because the little kids stained shirt, no stain. I remember in the late 90s that was like a big selling point. For parents buying this shit. Oh, good, I don't have to wash my kids' clothes as much. So that was a big thing. But back to the new Ghostbusters, we've been actually waiting to talk about this schlock. And I say schlock, not that we know it's going to be schlock.
I'm very disappointed the female...
Look at Sean. Wow, he's going to hear a lot of ranting on Twitter for this one. How dare you sexist freak.
There's nothing wrong, women in the cast. It just challenges the Ghostbuster brand.
Right.
I guess they want to rebrand it, rename it, just refocus.
2015,
And whose fault is this? I don't want to bash an iconic man like Bill Murray, but this should have been done 20 years ago.
Well, the reason he didn't want to go in on it...
Hal Remus passed away.
Hal
Remus
is gone now, rest in peace. But that's why when they, because they've been talking about a reboot or a third Ghostbusters for years. But the thing was that they didn't want to do it because Bill Murray was never satisfied with the things that they were shooting out. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Because even in the second one, he didn't have as much freedom because now it's a big budget, studio film. And he didn't have as much free roam to, kind of do whatever he wanted. Like the first movie, he's up in there, and he's just, it's coming off the top of his head. Something good, for goodness sake. That's I got to split. The lawyer wants that. The mayor wants to rap me about some things. I mean, that's all. That's all off the top of his head. I mean, that's not scripted stuff. And he wasn't able to do that as much in the second one. So when the third one came around and it wasn't as much to his liking, he was like, meh. And I don't really fucking blame him.
Actually, I saw a spectacular, kind of underrated Bill Murray movie recently. It's called Quick Change from 1990.
1990.
And it shows, the highlight of the movie is New York City itself.
Oh, I like my New York movies.
Prior Giuliani, cesspool
prior to the Disneyland that we live in now.
Taxi driver type New York.
It's a $200 entrance fee to get into Manhattan.
He essentially is like robbing a bank, and he's dressed as a clown at one point.
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
It's very underrated. He does such a spectacular performance.
Most
Bill
of
Murray and his prime.
His prime, and that was probably right after Ghostbusters too.
It's Gina Davis, Randy Quaid, but check it out. It's very underrated.
I've seen the beginning of it. Now that you mention Randy Quaid, I've seen the beginning of it. I don't remember. I don't think I've seen the part where he does the clown thing. But what was the name of it again?
It's called Quick Change. Came out in 1990. But
I've seen bits.
It's one of Bill Murray's really epic roles that's very overlooked because it's spectacular.
It's got a good percentage of Rotten Tomatoes. Got 79%.
You'll never see it on cable. You'll never see it talked about. But I just,
Yep, Gina Davis was in it. Yeah, they're in a car.
Theme of Bill Murray, I definitely recommend it. Just especially if you're nostalgic for the old New York. That was a frightening yet entertaining place.
Gritty New York. Now we live in an overpriced billionaire's Disneyland. We live in Jurassic World without dinosaurs.
Which had the Starbucks. If you know,
it had Starbucks, Ben and Jerry's. I saw it had. I think was it a Pandora store or something. There was a lot of product placement. Me and Angela, we were spotting out all the product placement. So the first product placement that we spotted out was Beats headphones. Then we see
the Beats was
the kid had the Beats. They were sticking
right in the beginning.
Right in the beginning.
Oh, my girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah, sticking right in your face with the Beats, and then Mercedes truck, and then a few other things. But yeah, there was product placement in there. When it's subtle like that, don't bother me. When it bothers me, it's when
Transformers was like vomiting.
Yeah, or like an Adam Sandler movie. When
Burger King.
Yeah, or
Pepsi, drink Pepsi.
Like, have you seen the movie Jack and Jill, where like the Dunkin' Donuts was like?
I luckily have not seen that.
I watched it just because it's terrible, just to get.
I think you liked it, or massacre. You like to torture yourself.
Yeah, well, you watch it to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. It's brutal, but like Dunkin' Donuts has like a prominent part in the plot of the movie. It's terrible because they want to get Al Pacino. He's like a marketing.
I feel so bad.
I don't want to talk about the movie. It's terrible. Iconic guy. He was. I hope they paid him well for that.
Maybe he has some dementia. He's like, don't give me money.
Yeah, maybe he just wants a fat paycheck. He's got a yacht to buy. But yeah, I'll be quick. Adam Sandler is like a marketing executive, and he needs to have Al Pacino do a Dunkin' Donuts commercial, and they have like some stupid line. It was like Pacino, Dunkachino. Oh, it's terrible. It's such a commercial, and that's not the only piece of product placement in that movie. There's tons of
disgusting cinematic diarrhea. They go, hey, you know what we should do? Make another Adam Sandler movie. Drew Barrymore, who's also washed up.
They did another one
with
South
Africa.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler in Africa, brilliant.
It's genius. It'll make millions.
And of course, flopped, misery. And now he's in this.
And they already did a movie so much similar to that. They did 50 First Dates with him and her. Like, how many times are you going to have these two, do these same schlock?
Allow him to be on a movie. It's just torture.
And the funny thing is these movies look terrible, and they cost so much to make. Jack and Jill cost $80 million. That was the budget. How is that movie? It made money, too. It was profitable. It got 3%, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes.
What I'm glad is that the Wayans brothers stopped making movies together. They were on the line of just shit.
I liked the show. I liked the Wayans Brothers show.
They had a few funny skits.
Yeah.
It was like job, malt liquors. You got to get a job. J-O-B. And it was like, they had some clever things in there.
I thought that show was good. I used to watch it.
But they're like white chicks. The other movie when he plays a small little baby.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's garbage. Oh, Little Man, I think was the name of it.
There you go. At least they finally stopped giving
They quit after that.
The
yeah,
studios are like, no more.
No more, please. I would hope that they did.
Apparently Marlon's doing better than Sean is, you would think. It's surprising.
Marlon gets more work. Yeah, Marlon gets more work. I mean, he was in all those stupid, scary movies. I guess Sean was in the first few, too. But I think Marlon
Anna Faris was the star of those.
Anna Faris was number one.
I think she did 3, I want to say.
She did more than that. She was in the 4th one, too. I don't know if she did the 5th
one. I saw the last one. I stopped watching unfortunately. It was
How many did they make?
So
6?
bad.
I stopped at the 4th.
5 or 6. But the last one I saw, it was horrendous. It was torture.
The 4th one's so awful, it's laughable. Like at the end when there's aliens, Charlie Sheen's in it. He's like, "You should see how we pee," and they're like peeing out of his hand. It's like so funny. It's
you're a child, you know.
Yeah, like they're all bad.
The best Wayans Brothers movie when they're doing like comedic nonsense was when they're in the hood doing the parody.
Don't be a menace to South Central while you're
in
the hood. Sure,
that movie was good.
Hurry up and buy. Should I wear the Uzi with the hat taps?
Like the white man, he has a list, and it says like O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Crosses it off.
He's just killing black people. Yeah.
Like celebrity, you know. But it was.
Yeah. He was framing them.
Or he's also like, "What's your number?" And he gives a gun to her head.
Yeah.
Like it had some funny moments.
Like everything was St. Ides, or the grandma was like, "Give me some of that shit," and it was like a jar that says shit on it. There was a lot of stupid skits in that movie.
But it was definitely like that was the beginning of. See, it started off great, and they just released.
That's great, especially if you've watched like
you can watch it now. It has redeeming qualities. You can still watch it.
You can still watch it and get laughs. I mean, especially if you've seen the movies that they're lampooning. You know, like what's it called? I can't even think of any of the names of those movies. The original ones that they're making fun of. But yeah, you get a lot of stupid laughs out of that movie. But like Sean says, as for what they've done recently, like nothing really to.
Well, as usual, you find a good concept, you squeeze it dry, and then
you milk it to the point where
decrepit, burnt
public pukes.
Lemon.
But that's why they keep making Adam Sandler movies, because they keep making money. People keep he's known. Oh, I like Adam Sandler. Let's go watch that.
These
but
movies and these
people, but
mental asylums or the state of Alabama.
He still rides on the coattails of like 2 decent movies, like people will go to you and say, well, Happy Gilmore's good, and Billy Madison's good, but everything really after that.
If you look at the younger generation, like if you're a 12-year-old kid, you didn't watch those movies.
Sure. But
you might have seen them on cable or something.
But what are they more familiar with? Then I guess they're more familiar with this newer crap, and I guess little kids could get like.
I don't know how he's making that new arcade theme movie with
Pixels. I have a little faith in that. I'll go see it.
I like the concept because I like arcades. I like those characters,
Retro,
Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, and stuff like that. Because that was.
To me, that kind of looks like to me, it kind of seems like it's on the lines of Ghostbusters, not to say that there's ghosts in it, but like, it's kind of like aliens come down and then they turn into, or alien, something like that, and they gotta fight them, and it's got.
If you look at even Disney try to tie in with that, the Wreck-It Ralph movie that came out a few years ago.
Yes.
The arcade nostalgia it's probably at its peak right now, as we discussed in a previous episode.
Yeah, like the.
But even Disney,
because the age range that is being nostalgic right now is large, so a lot of people are looking back.
But even the kids, like they love video games. It's kind of a transcendent.
Sure. I mean, video
genre, but. Even these iconic characters make placements within the video game, so people all know about them.
People still know about them, sure. Like I would assume so. And
just look. They play Smash Bros.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
so they're gonna know the characters even if they didn't play, the original Donkey Kong.
And you
or
see
Donkey
like
Kong
pixelated kind of themes all over the place.
Oh yeah, that's big now. 8-bit, 16-bit. I mean, we do it. A lot of people do.
Yeah,
so it's fun. It's like that kind of retro style looks good. Like, not everything has to be like perfectly beautiful and polished in HD to look interesting or capture what you're looking at. And sometimes the retro way of doing things is catches your eye, and sometimes is a good way to do it. But so back to the idea of the Ghostbusters. So now they're filming right now in Boston with Melissa McCarthy and Kate McKinnon. So they've put some pictures up. It's supposed to be in Manhattan, but they put some pictures up. And
if you're gonna use Manhattan, for example, Suicide Squad, Gotham is Manhattan-esque.
Yeah.
They use Toronto, they use Chicago,
you mix
gigantic skylines.
Mix them up.
I've been to Boston. Great city, by the way. Beautiful place. Looks nothing as far from Manhattan as physically possible.
Did I say Boston?
You did say Boston. That's...
I think I meant Chicago. Hold on, let me check. What the heck? It's one of them. Let me see. I'm trying to look here. I'm reading this piece here. Does it say it? Because I know the movie is supposed to be based in Manhattan, and guess who else is cast in it? Thor is cast in it right now. Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is cast as like a what's it called type. He's cast as like a Janine. He's gonna be like the secretary.
This is so bizarre.
It's just weird, and they're like, I mean, I guess because we're old hags, and I guess little kids will be like, we'll stop watching these movies with nostalgia glasses, enjoy something new. It's like, yeah, but I mean, let's hope they don't butcher the classics. Ghostbusters worked. The first one is particularly because the first one's a lot better than the second one.
But it was a quirky group of characters. Had Egon,
and that cast
was
worked
that likable kind of loser guy.
Yeah, he's the heart of the Ghostbusters.
The jokester. Then you had Winston, the strong black guy.
Yeah, the strong black, thin. Well, he was the everyman. He was the one who was always telling the mayor, Mayor, I've seen stuff that'll make you white. It's like he was the one relatable.
He was likable.
Yeah, he was the one relatable because you had Peter Venkman, who was like too much of an asshole.
He was an asshole.
This man has no dick, so you couldn't take him seriously. You had Ray,
Peck. Mr. Peck.
Yeah, Mr. Peck. It's true, Your Honor. Is this true? This man has.
You had Rick Moranis' character.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, cute little pooch. Maybe I've got a milk bone.
He was a good actor.
Great.
He was a good comedic.
Spaceballs? Are you kidding?
He had great comedic stuff.
Honey, I
and
Shrunk
then,
the Kids?
Unfortunately, his wife died in some kind of tragic something or other.
Well, his wife was sick with cancer, so he retired from acting.
When his wife died,
take care of her.
He never acted again.
No, well, he retired to take care of her, and then she was sick, with cancer. She passed away, and he was I'm done with acting.
He even did like iconic Canadian characters. He was
he's from Canada. I think he still lives there. Yeah, he does that bear.
Yeah, he's from Toronto character.
He's from Toronto, and
his wife died in '91.
His first wife?
Oh, that's what I said, spouse, and it's only 5 years.
Wait, 91?
I'm looking at his movies.
His wife passed away in 91?
So Little Giants, another good movie.
Well, all right. So, he retired. I mean, he hasn't been in movies in 15 years.
Lucas? That was a character in Ghostbusters, wasn't it?
Lucas? No, it was it's Louis Tully.
Lucas?
Louis Tully.
That's right.
And then he was the accountant. Who does your taxes? Then he's the accountant in the second one.
Giant glasses,
Yeah. Oh, I'm having a party tonight. You want to? Oh, that's okay.
He just did like the nerdy relief.
Yeah, the nerdy, corny comic relief.
And
you made a date tonight? That was
Sigourney Weaver's neighbor. He lived across the hall. Remember, he's having like a giant party.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right. Like, you don't have to come.
It's okay. You could bring him along. And then he's having that party.
Are you the gatekeeper?
And then I love it. I didn't realize this as a little kid. Been loving Ghostbusters since I'm 4 years old. But I realized this more as a teenager and as an adult, that he's telling, it's like a business party. That's why he invited clients instead of friends. So he's telling everybody their personal business. They got 10 years left on their mortgage at 8.9%, so they're okay. It's like all this personal information he's spouting out at a party.
The way he says hilarious. And one of the most iconic scenes when he's running from the dog at the Central Park restaurant.
Yeah. At the bowling on the green. Yeah.
They see him, he's like, help!
Yeah.
And they just look away like,
they stop for a second, they just go back to what they're doing, like a perfect perfect New York moment. He's like he squeaks off the window.
He had some great comedic relief in those movies.
God, I'm gonna bring this up at the next tenants meeting. There's not supposed to be any pets in the building. He chases him across the street to Central Park.
I wonder if they do a new like Louis Tully in the remake.
You would think they would need some characters similar to that, I mean,
they have to.
I think the girls will be funny, if they do it like they did Bridesmaids. I mean, Bridesmaids I thought was funny, but
smart. It's okay.
It's just like I just don't know. I mean, like the pictures are interesting. I don't know. I'm not gonna be like, I can't relate to it because it's not guys. I'm not gonna like that. I'm gonna say that because I like Bridesmaids. I thought that was a funny movie. But so we'll just see. I mean, there's these pictures right now. They're filming. we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I mean, am I going to be keeping my expectations sky high? No.
I'll certainly see it. Of
course, we're going to watch it. The third Ghostbusters. You know, they should have just renamed it.
They're not going to tie it in. It's not going to be Ghostbusters.
I don't think that they're doing anything tying it into the old.
Nothing to do with the original
just completely.
It's a rehash.
Reboot. Yeah. So. I mean, we'll see. It could be garbage. It could be. I mean, you know, a few weeks ago, I didn't have high hopes for Jurassic World, and I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. So, you know, anything can happen. Anything can happen in this world.
Well, look at Mad Max. Somebody mentioned that name in 20 years.
Yeah. Did anybody think a Mad Max?
That might be.
That movie could have easily faded away into the
obscurity,
into the obscure world of like fucking late prequels.
We discussed that previously, but
yeah.
So far,
you can continue to discuss it because it's the top movie of the year.
One hit.
It's the top blockbuster so far. It's the best.
There's still 3 large movies. Anything Marvel's massive.
Sure. Well, Ant-Man's coming out next month.
Then you got Ant-Man, Terminator, and Fantastic Four.
I don't have high hopes for Terminator at all. Got higher hopes for Fantastic Four. I'm pretty sure Fantastic Four is going to be better than the first Fantastic Four.
Oh, it's easy. Children's coloring books better than
that. It's true. But you know, I'll watch it nonetheless. I like Emilia Clarke.
But the strongest I think Kristen Wiig can be funny. Which did good in SNL.
Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, I thought was very funny.
Hold me on for the movie. I don't really plan on seeing it anytime soon. But the Spy movie had good reviews with Jason Statham. Apparently,
I didn't see it.
Nor did I. But they're some spy parody comedy with. Jason Statham did it with her. That's like the last people on Earth you would see together.
Right. Because he's so serious and brooding, and she's like,
she's like super brooding, like not comedic at all.
Nah,
she's just
he has no comedic,
fat cracking jokes.
Yeah, exactly. So
like in real life, they would never even talk to each other.
No, what would their conversation be about? So,
you're gonna eat all the shrimp?
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna eat the last jumbo shrimp? You know I paid for those. I paid for that appetizer. She's like, help me, I'm poor. You're so stupid. But, yeah. So, here's another little piece. Not that we're going to be talking too much about the new Star Wars world, but this is a good one. Now, I'm sure we've all seen the train wreck that is... no, I'm not going to say train wreck. The Phantom Menace. I can't call a Star Wars movie a train wreck, no matter how bad everybody thinks it is.
Attack of the Clones is...
Yeah, Attack of the Clones is my...
It's on time with like TWA Flight 800.
it's like the most...
The Hindenburg.
It goes down in the history books up with those, but
Compton riots.
Just the Compton riots,
disgusting disaster by all accounts.
But
I don't think I'll ever be able to watch the movie again.
I can still watch it, but it's not great.
We're
not talking about Attack of the Clones right now. We're talking about Phantom Menace only because listen, that movie had so much hype to live up to, just like The Force Awakens. And it didn't live up to it, right?
Force Awakens. Well, again, it's not different, not here or there, but
yeah. So we were talking about what happened to Jake Lloyd recently, who played little Anakin Skywalker in Phantom Menace. He crashes. He goes on a crazy drunken car chase in Charleston, South Carolina, with police and like wrecks his car and shit. And now we're getting word that he actually has hit his mom a few weeks before the crash, and he apparently suffers from schizophrenia. Now, Sean, what do you think about this?
1 second.
Sure, Sean's gonna do some investigating right now.
Jake Lloyd, journey from Star Wars to the Slammer. Well, think about it. He had the world was his. 10-year-old kid, everyone likes him. Like, he looks so brooding. He looks like almost like he was an Aryan or a skinhead sort of. Jail white supremacist.
Picture, that's the picture I've been noticing.
I didn't see that.
That's the recent mugshot. Yeah. I'm not even gonna need. I posted a couple of articles about it.
It's on like, so do you like the Confederate flag? I love it.
I love it. He's a nut. I've actually watched a few interviews with him. He seems a bit scorned about it because he goes on to say he was like, well, throughout because he wasn't homeschooled or anything after that. He kind of went back to normal life after Phantom Menace, and apparently he was like relentlessly ridiculed. Like
everyone's like, everyone loves him in that kind of. So he went back to his normal life and just got harassed.
Apparently got harassed. Oh, lightsabers! Apparently he said. I heard him in an interview say he was like, well, if you spent your whole grade school life getting ridiculed. People saying lightsabers, and this and then Skywalker. Like you'd probably feel this way too. He's like very scorn about it now.
You couldn't do it. Look at Steve Urkel. I mean,
yeah. Well, hey, Julia White's not that bad,
but he was a worser character that was completely degraded himself.
But he didn't go nuts. You want to hear some
still successful.
Yeah, but think about some
he's a big voice actor,
child stars that did go nuts. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Michael Jackson.
Well, Michael Jackson wasn't a child star.
He was. What do you mean, Jackson?
But he also elevated to like a
ultra stardom. Sure,
Elvis Presley type.
Was king of
beyond
pop.
Human. Like,
godlike.
There's not
level.
A celebrity at that point.
But he was a child star first. I mean, his father whipped them. They didn't have normal lives. That was his excuse for making Never Neverland Ranch. I didn't have a childhood, so I'm going to have
He could be an episode in itself. But
you could talk about that guy for years.
The Corys, yes. Corey Feldman, who's still alive. I guess he's doing better. Corey Haim's dead. I think.
Yeah. Well, that's
some overdose or just generally being unhealthy. But the child actors go on massively.
I mean, like, just, Macaulay Culkin is another one.
I mean, Lindsay Lohan,
Lindsay Lohan's another one.
Her and Mean Girls was at her peak. And
Judy Garland. I mean, the list goes on and on and on for child stars and how.
You know what's fascinating about Judy Garland is Liza Minnelli is her daughter.
Yep.
People don't realize it. It's like, what the fuck?
I'm a bit of a film. I'm a bit of a film. In fact, I think
Judy Garland in Wizard of Oz, she was attractive.
One of my film textbooks I have over here, I think it talks about it because it talks about how
she's apparently a huge booze hound, like massively.
That's blame the studios though, because she was a child star, and back then they basically had these contracts with the studios, and back then they were giving her pills to stay up because of these 10-hour days as a 14-year-old girl, pills to go to sleep, and eventually she became a pill and booze addict and got tremendously fat and died, early. How old was she?
I was going to ask you. That's a good question. I was going to wonder her.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure she was very young, like a late 40s. Like I think she was 49. I think.
You think of her, it's synonymous with Wizard of Oz, which
22.
Is the first colored film ever released in full color, like nationwide.
She was 47 when she died. Julie Garland. It was like, and she's little, tiny petite. She was a tiny little thing. But back then. The studios owned you, It was like, wow, she was the first person owned by his studio.
They own you now, essentially.
They own you now, but it's a little less like, like back then it was like pretty much set in stone. But it's true, Liza Minnelli is her daughter with with Vincent Minnelli. He was somebody. Who was he? He was a director, I guess, and he had the.
I think Liza got Vincent's looks for certainly.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of him right now. She looks like.
Judy Garland was attractive. The Wizard of Oz, you could tell she was
attractive little girl. She was pretty. She was pretty. I think she was 16 in that movie.
What year was that? I mean, prior to World War II. I don't know the specifics.
It was 39. She was born in 22.
Yeah, 39. They think of like global dysfunction, pretty much.
But yeah, it's funny that Liza Minnelli does look like Vincent Minnelli. But she croaked. And then we all know Liza Minnelli's story. But not to get off track and talk about Liza Minnelli for the rest of this episode. But we're talking about child stars and this Jake Lloyd thing. So I mean. What do you think about this? Like I said, he doesn't want to do film at all. There's a few awkward.
Oh, he doesn't want to do film.
He hasn't wanted.
Like he doesn't have an opportunity.
Well, no, he actually went to film school and became like he wants to do directing and editing. I've seen in a few more interviews. There's an awkward one on YouTube that you can watch. You just look in Jake Lloyd interview and you'll see like top one that pops up. It's like awkward interview Jake Lloyd, and this Australian interviewer interviews him. And it's awkward, but I think it's awkward, but I blame the interviewer a little bit. He's a bit of a dick. He's just whipping out questions like, so how's it feel to be Anakin Skywalker? And he's like, well, that's a part that I played over 10 years ago. And he's like,
so this is the 2012 interview?
Let me see what year it was. Yeah, it's on YouTube. You look up Jake Lloyd awkward, and it pops right up.
Well, even if you look at the older Anakin, who was terribly, horrendously cast, which is probably worst casting in
I think it could have. I think I blame a lot of George's direction and dialogue, but sure. I mean, you could make that argument all day.
Hayden Christensen was vacuous, boring. Yeah. Well, this isn't.
The interview was 5 years ago.
This isn't bash the prequels because.
No, this isn't a bash the prequels.
I can do that for an hour and a half.
Yeah, we could have a prequels episode, which one day we might, but not today. We're talking about current events.
I'm just bringing to the Anakin's.
Sure. But at least, he's had a little bit of a career afterwards. He had that movie, was it Jumper or Looper? What was the one with Hayden Christensen?
No, Looper was,
with what's his name, Jordan Rice, not Jordan Rice, the three-name actor that was
Joseph
Gordon-Levitt.
Correct. And Bruce Willis.
But he was in the movie Jumper, excuse me, which actually wasn't a disaster.
I didn't.
It's all right.
I didn't see Jumper.
It's all right. And I mean, actually, it's got a terrible rating on Rotten Tomatoes. But I've seen worse. But he's in movies. It's not like, the Star Wars movies ruined his career or anything. But
he just probably wasn't properly medicated. And
who are we talking about? Hayden Christensen or or Jake Lloyd?
Lloyd. But this picture's a little creepy here. He has this Billy Idol Matrix look with bleached blonde hair. And,
well, he's a bit. I mean, no one said he was very normal. You see him in these interviews. Like I said, in that awkward interview, I blame the interviewer a little bit for not being a little more delicate with the questions. It's like, this kid obviously is not going to be wanting to talk about the Anakin Skywalker thing. Like, if you want to subtly bring it in at the middle of the interview, that's what I would do. It's like, so
to get that much money to be a celebrity in the public eye, you give up that luxury.
But he didn't though. It wasn't his fault. He was a 10-year-old kid at the time, or 9 years old.
What 10-year-old? Hey, you want to be the main figure in these Star Wars?
So blame his parents. It wasn't his idea.
You wouldn't turn that down. I wouldn't have turned that down.
But that's not the point. Is that he was a 10-year-old and he didn't know what he was getting into. Somebody said, "You want to be the next? You want to be a movie star?" Sure, I do. But what
you want to be in Star Wars? Anakin
It's really up to his parents to make that decision. And making your kid a child star,
95% of the people are going to say though.
What happened?
95% of people are going to say, "Hey, it's your choice. Star Wars, great."
Yes, but
my kid's getting.
But are we blaming the 10-year-old for making
$400,000 to do?
I don't even know if he got that much. But are you really blaming?
He got at least six figures minimum.
It's 1999, and it was only in one other movie. He was in Jingle All the Way.
I'm not saying he's gross. I'm saying for the specific Anakin role, he's got at least six figures for that. Come on.
It was 1999. He might not have. He might only got.
You think he gave him $40,000 for that? No way.
No, I mean probably got six-figure range, but still, it's again, it's his parents' choice. It's making a kid a child star. Child stars aren't exactly known to turn out that well. And look at this shit now, he's paying for it. I feel because it's he's scorned
for hipster pizza man.
Yeah, he's the pizza monocles or whatever they're called.
Hey, he dated Mila Kunis for 6 years.
Yeah, that was the best thing he did in the last 15 years. Come on, man. He looks drawn out. He was definitely on something.
Well, yeah, he was certainly doing heroin. But if you saw the movie Party Monster, he did a good role. But he did play a creepy, gay, murderous drug addict. But he did it fantastically well, almost like he had experience.
Yeah, he almost had experience.
And that's a movie I would check out. It's a little heavy, but it's a decent flick.
What was the name of it again?
Party Monsters. It's Seth Green.
What year is that?
I want to say early 2000s.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that either. But also, so I do wish Jake Lloyd the best. I hope he gets the help he needs. And nobody got hurt from this accident or anything. Hopefully,
he's not gonna do serious time. He didn't kill anyone.
Right.
He's probably paying some large fines, license suspended.
Right.
I mean, if you don't have a car in South Carolina, you're kind of fucked. I don't assume there's much walking there, but
yeah. I mean, wish him the best. I'm not gonna be like he's hopeless, throw him, lock away the key. But I wish him the best. It's tough being a child star. Look at all the names that we just said that are either turned out to be maniac drug addicts or dead early. So it's tough, and it wasn't their choice. They didn't, you can't blame a 10-year-old for becoming a movie star. You blame whoever was his guardian at the time. So blame his parents if anybody. But
it's the worst, even worse than those are the stage moms. And
exactly. Like
the horrendous Honey Boo Boo fucking characters.
Well, that's a perfect example of that. Oh, you're gonna be the best.
And they're just white trash monsters that
Yeah, you screw your kid's head up doing stuff like that.
Because they just come dissolute.
If you watch Bad Grandpa and they have the little other girls in it. There's one of them.
That movie's amazing.
That's just really good. That's probably better than all the Jackass movies. Those skits are good.
I had a soft spot for all of them. They were genius.
They were funny. Yeah.
And this is Knoxville is behind the Hounds. He's very hands-on, but
oh yeah, he's the
he's the alpha male.
He's the leader of the pack. But that's the thing. He's not just telling
Steve-O is still great, but the drug-free Steve-O, which is good, I appreciate. I'm happy he is.
Yeah, happy he's not dead.
His life and he's not deceased.
People were making bets, and there was over-unders in Vegas.
If you picked Dunn, you would have won because he was 50-1. He was not. He was like an alcoholic, but they all were alcoholics. He was the least of the drug use.
Right. Well, exactly. You expect? I think Steve-O was top. Everybody thought he was going to die first.
I saw a documentary. There was I think MTV did it. It was like a brief one, but he's like addicted to nitrous and like.
Oh my god.
Like cocaine. A couple things.
Yeah, well, naturally.
But he was just
living that kind of lifestyle. What are you not doing?
He was going to do this stunt where he was clearly on drugs heavily, and the stunt he was going to die. So Knoxville was like, all right, we got to do an intervention. Now he's doing stunts where. Yeah, he did a ridiculous thing, putting a fish hook through his cheek, which I thought was amazing. I was mesmerized by it.
Yeah.
That
was one of the wild things.
Ridiculousness that he would do.
Yeah. They take it to the next level. That's shit.
Them physically harming themselves is one thing, but killing themselves, they're like, all right. So they did, the intervention did work, because Jackass 3 was a dry set.
Oh, didn't he bring, all his family was in that intervention, I think.
He filmed it, and Knox was like, turn the camera off. And for one of them to say turn the camera off, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But Jackass 3 was a dry set because of Steve-O.
Yeah, well, you freaking.
And if you notice, when
Jackass 3D, that was the one where he jumped. He's in the shit.
The worst part,
porta potty with fecal matter.
See that? Honestly, that I think I could have done if given the right money or.
They given the right compensation.
That
right?
wouldn't have bothered
You'd be
me.
puking up, bro. You puke within 5 feet of 20 feet of the thing.
I'm
you'd
like
be
the fat
up.
cameraman in the movie that always vomits.
Yeah. Sean's got a weaker stomach than most.
I can vomit easily,
Sean
but
pukes easy.
No, by far
He puked from a Twinkie once.
The disgusting thing I ever seen was when you get the fat dude. I can't. The name's not ringing the bell right now.
The fat dude, what with the sweat?
Sweat. He drank the sweat.
Oh man,
I think
that was one of the grossest.
I almost
things.
vomited in the movie
That's
theater.
That's so gross when you think about it. Imagine trying to. That's instant puke. How could you not? How could you not puke before and after?
I think urine's not even as bad as sweat. That is.
The sweat's worse, bro.
Sweat is worse than
urine.
The
sweat is worse. I'd rather drink the guy's piss than his sweat, man.
That's exactly.
Oh man, that's terrible. It's just worse.
That's the thing.
It's practically the same thing, but it's just.
No, it's
grosser. Oh god, that's so disgusting.
Grosser and all.
Oh, that's brutal.
But like they interviewed them after, ones that are actually alive now, and they all said. They're, I guess, in their 40s at this point.
Yeah.
And we said we have the bodies of about 7-year-old men. They all have terrible bone issues.
Yeah.
Muscle problems.
Bro, when you put your body through that kind of vicious
A lot of them barely can walk. They have terrible joints,
Definitely.
terrible bones. They literally said, I have the body of 65, 7-year-old men. Numerous,
not shocking.
And like they all, they were skaters to begin with. So
right? Yeah, they were knocked around. Yeah, Bam Margera
12 years old.
Yeah, Bam Margera just got into a fight with some it was like a Swedish band or something recently. They punched him in his face. I don't care about that. We're not gonna talk about that.
But no, it was just saying, within that context. But
right. Yeah. So all right. 2 more things, and then we're gonna. Marvel finally casts a Spider-Man. It casts what's it called? What's the kid's name? Tom Holland is the new Spider-Man. So, and apparently he's going to be in I think Civil War or the next.
He's going to make an appearance in the next.
He's going to make an appearance in the next one.
This guy. I don't know how great they're handling Spider-Man, honestly.
The thing is that
what happened to Garfield? Just make 2 movies and forget it.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
They keep rushing it, and they're too.
You keep rebooting this shit. You keep screwing it up. Not to say that
I don't even want to I'm not as inclined to see it anymore.
Well, that's my point. Is that who the hell even gives a fuck about Spider-Man now anymore? How many times are you gonna reboot this damn thing? Do we really want to see the Spider-Man origin story a 3rd time in like?
And honestly, I didn't even like the Garfield casting.
No, I thought Garfield casting was okay, but I thought I just liked the Tobey Maguire ones better. They were just better movies.
It was at a better time, so Marvel movies were nothing.
The first Spider-Man was what kicked that off. Sparked that shit.
Even when I was watching the first Spider-Man when it came out, 2000. It's not even prior 9/11 even.
Yeah, it was right around the time because they had that
I think it was the summer before, so it was September. It would have been like that.
Yeah,
June, July, whatever.
Right, because they had the what's it called? They had the teaser trailer, and it had Spider-Man hanging between the Twin Towers.
Really?
Yeah, you never seen that?
But yeah, they're very ready to embrace it with the Spider-Man, just kind of jamming it.
Well, the first one was 2002, so it was right after.
Okay,
actually.
So it was after.
Right after.
But they need to. I don't know. And they made all these projects they just threw out as well. They're like, we're gonna make a Sinister Six movie.
Right? Are they still doing that?
Doubtful. I mean, they got to recast everything. That's like Dr. Octopus, Vulture, Mysterio, Green Goblin.
I think they're gonna. No, it's slated for 2016. They're making it.
I think it's on the back burner at this point in time, but we'll see. But I don't think they're hating.
No, the Spider-Man's. No, it's not dead. It says isn't dead. No,
I thought it was dead personally.
It's back on the. It's back on. I heard those rumors too.
It seemed like a pretty ambitious project considering the state of the franchise.
Yeah, no, they're doing it. It's next year.
And they're just recasting for these constant 16-year-old teeny bopper unheard of.
Yeah.
But if you want to look at Peter Parker, he's not a Wolverine masculine type guy, but he's not some Nickelodeon bitch.
No, yeah, he's just. I mean, he's like. He played a good Peter Parker. Was it perfect? I mean, everybody's got their own interpretation.
I just feel like Marvel's handling the Spider-Man very poorly.
Sony's handling it, not Marvel. Sony's property. It's like the last property that Sony.
Whereas you look at X-Men,
but they're tying them in now.
X-Men's the opposite, where the new movies are pretty on point, fantastically done.
The Days of Future Past is the best one, in my opinion.
Fassbender. Yeah, brilliant Magneto.
And James McAvoy.
McAvoy is Xavier. Fantastic. Brilliant casting.
Absolutely.
They're not. Those guys will be playing those roles for the next 15, 20 years.
They keep doing it. Play it forever. Play it till they're fucking as old as.
Hugh Jackman's going to be playing Wolverine into his 70s.
I think he said he got 2 more movies and then he's out. 2 more. Just like Daniel Craig's got 2 more. Daniel Craig's got 2 more James Bonds. He's got
Fassbender and McAvoy. They're going to be playing those roles.
They'll play him till they're as old as
the characters themselves.
As what's it called on the other guy?
Seriously, they're
as Ian McKellen.
They have very strong personalities, and those characters.
They're good, man.
Perfect fit.
They're gonna look
fantastic cast.
They're gonna look like Ian McKellen and what's his
Patrick
name?
Stewart.
Patrick Stewart. Yeah. So but Sinister Six is happening. This kid Tom Holland. How old is he? Let me see this kid.
He looks like he's 12.
Exactly. He's a
little puke.
He's 19. Yeah. Oh, he's a tiny little one. He is a little kid. He's really going to be the new Spider-Man. I know that
He's Peter Parker. I don't even want to watch the movie.
I know that they were going for a younger, like they're focusing on like the high school Peter Parker years, which is fine. I mean, the TV show did that. The comics did that.
If you want to make a show on the CW network,
right.
Run with.
I don't know how this is gonna. How is he gonna fit in against Chris Hemsworth and the other? Like, how's he gonna fit in against these like giant, giant monster dudes? Like he's like a little, he's like a little kid. But
hey, I'm Peter Parker.
Hey,
I have webs.
Yeah, and of course he's from the UK. I knew they were gonna cast the UK kid. But yeah, so
was that the trendy thing to do now? Oh,
yeah, let's the UK. Well, Andrew Garfield's from the UK, so just keep doing it. And so we'll see how that turns out. Do I have high hopes?
At least Emma Stone dumped him. So.
Emma Stone, God rest her soul, and
she didn't pass away though.
Gwen Stacy did.
Hey, Green Goblin needs to kill some people.
You gotta whack somebody.
It's part of the job title.
It's in the
you should have killed more people, actually.
Yeah, well, that's a problem with movies today is that they're just not as gritty as they once were in the 80s. Like you look at like a movie like RoboCop with the squibs, the friggin' bloodshot everywhere. You don't see that in movies no more. It's like computer
generated. Shout out to one of my favorite cities, Detroit, Michigan. They actually built a RoboCop statue.
They did, I know. Just like Philadelphia's got the Rocky,
But Detroit's like bankrupt, but the RoboCop statue.
They got enough money to make a RoboCop statue, you fucks.
Well, it was like a Kickstarter thing that just went out of control. But
and then they just did it. So okay, one last thing before we head out. As we talked about Jurassic Park, great 90s blockbuster, we're going to mention Independence Day. They are coming out with a sequel next summer, and subtitle of the movie has come out. It is called Independence Day Resurgence. What do you think, Sean? Sean showed me the picture of the RoboCop statue in Detroit.
Again, another bored giant movie conglomerate looking for ideas. Let's make a new Alien movie. Essentially.
Well, yeah, they're looking for bucks. And I'm like, really? You're gonna remake this movie?
Actually,
people hate it to begin with. I love it because I was 10 years old.
I watched it as a kid. I can't watch it any further.
I watched
Will Smith over the top nonsense.
It's funny if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes reviews. Like a number of the reviews are like, "This is a great movie." If you're 10 years old, it's like otherwise it's garbage. And it's kind of true. I watched the movie as a little kid, and I loved it.
Actually,
but you look at real people, and real movie critics.
Was an original Alien themed movie that came out in the last, let's say, 3-4 years. I thought was brilliant. Directed by Peter Jackson. District 9.
Oh, District 9's a great one. Sure.
Amazing.
That was 6 years ago, right? 09?
2010. I don't know specifically.
Well, they made what's it called? Chappie, which was similar.
And other Elysium with Matt Damon.
Elysium. I didn't like Elysium.
I thought it was pretty good actually. It plays this like very bleak.
I liked the style of it. Thought that was good. And what'd you say, Peter Jackson? No, it's Neil Blomkamp.
But Peter Jackson had involvement.
He might have been a producer or something. But Neil Blomkamp directed it. I think he also directed it.
Peter Jackson was a producer. I know Peter Jackson was involved with it 100%.
Okay. But, Neil Blomkamp directed it. I believe he also directed Chappie, which he did. And
Chappie, I've heard.
And he also directed Elysium, too.
I haven't seen Chappie, but I heard fantastic things. I want to check it out.
Is that sarcasm or is that serious?
No, I heard it. I heard it was good. So.
I heard shit. But I was going to watch it. I was going to watch it one night, and then my girlfriend was like, no, I don't want to watch that. I'm like, oh, screw you.
As it is.
But, but the District 9 was definitely really good. I like that movie. Yeah,
I thought it was fantastic.
I saw that in the theater.
Because you didn't expect nothing. You're like, what the hell is this?
Right. Weird? I don't know why I even saw that in theaters. I
didn't see it in theaters.
I think because I wasn't expecting much from it. And then it was good. I left satisfied. I was like, oh, that was good. And maybe just because it was a alien movie, and I like alien movies. I watched it, but
it just was like interesting, like South African, like weird, gritty. Yeah. Like it just looked cool.
And the aliens were like refugee, like
shrimp looking things.
Yeah, they looked like freaking prawns.
And it was cool.
They were like in the slums.
They like hoarded like cat food, and that was a currency.
yeah. Cat food was a currency, and they like lived in the slums.
No, they're like this. Probably nicer than the slums there, actually. They're like, oh, shit, the prawns got a nicer house than me.
Yeah, it was funny because it's kind of like, there's some social commentary there,
Oh, no, there's definitely things behind the scenes, like, integrated, for sure.
For sure, But
I do like those gritty, futuristic, just...
District 9 is the best of those, though, Elysium. I didn't see Chappie, but it's got to be better. District 9's got to be better than Chappie.
Honestly, I thought Elysium was pretty good.
It's all right. I like the way
I also like that he lived in California and it was entirely Spanish.
Yeah.
It was
completely Spanish.
The
United States was essentially like a crapshoot.
Well, if you look at the population trends 200 years from now, California especially, with the Mexican influx, it will be predominantly Spanish, but not anytime soon. But
I think the idea was that anybody was still who lived on the United States was just like poor.
No,
and the rich people were out in Elysium, right?
Like living cancer free,
in their beautiful world that they built, and so that was the idea of it. And there was a lot of social commentary in that movie too.
I like the guy's grittiness. I think he does a good job.
Neil Blomkamp, yeah. Like I said, I had heard good things. I had high hopes for Chappie, and I didn't see it because then right after it came out, people were like, "Oh, it sucked." So I was just like, so I didn't bother. But I do want to.
That reminds me of like a
got 31% on Rotten
when you're saying things suck. Years ago, when I was living in the Detroit area, which my Persian friends, the movie 300 came out. So everyone's like, "Oh, 300."
What did they hate?
Generally a good movie for its time. Persian friends like, that movie sucks. It's so shitty. And I'm like, really? Everyone else
everybody liked it.
And I saw it.
It took me for like a year to see it.
This movie's pretty cool. It's kind of has this like almost Frank Miller-esque.
Yeah.
And
Frank Miller.
But the Persians are depicted like kind of creatures, weirdo, monsters.
One of them looks like a friend of mine.
Why didn't you invite me?
Why didn't you invite me to the battle? I would have came. But yeah.
But as I say, it's film critique. End of the day, you got to watch it yourself and make the final judgment.
It's up to you to make the call.
Even
100 critics might hate it, and you might say, "I liked it."
Unless it's an Adam Sandler movie. Unless it's stay away.
Unless it's Jack and Jill, and then if you like that movie,
Adam Sandler past 1998. Please run.
Yeah, please
just run.
Unsubscribe. Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a helpline you can call.
Call 1-800.
If you see an Adam Sandler movie, please call.
Yeah, there is a there is a special potion that allows you to forget Adam Sandler movies. It's called Bleach.
Bleach. Awesome. Did you contemplate suicide after Jack and Jill? Was that like?
Oh, it was in the cards, man. I was driving over the Verrazano, and
I hear you just jump.
It's like I don't think
horrible debacle of nonsense.
Yes, that was terrible. But Independence Day Resurgence. Jeff Goldblum is in it. I don't think any of the
Jeff Goldblum.
I love him. Life.
I'm telling you, for all those that miss it, Jurassic World. Look for his book. Nice Easter egg.
Make sure you take it in there. We're going over here. So, I don't think Will Smith's not in it. What's his name's not in it. Who's the president in Independence Day? What's his name?
See, that's $1 million question. That was on Jeopardy. Everyone get it wrong. Like they did.
What's his name?
Supreme Court Justice. They got her name wrong.
Bill Pullman. He's in Spaceballs.
Bill Pullman. Yeah. Who the hell knows?
I know him from Spaceballs.
Oh, Bill Pullman, everyone. Bill Pullman reference.
But
that's
I think Jeff Goldblum and maybe I don't know if Judd Hirsch is in it, but I don't know.
It wasn't a deep cast. It's the Will Smith show, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, the Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum show. I remember an interview in like 97 or 98. Probably 98, and Will Smith was like, "Oh, July 4th is like Will Smith weekend," because he had Independence Day.
Getting jiggy with it.
Getting jiggy with the weekends. He was a monster then. He had every July 4th. It's true. He had every blockbuster. Independence Day, Men in Black.
Summer Will Smith.
Summer Will Smith. And then Wild Wild West, and then it tanked. That movie was a disaster.
It's hard to watch. Hard to watch.
I watched it as a kid, but I was like, this is
just
terrible.
To finish off.
Yeah, let's finish it off here.
The Daniel Craig, Harrison Ford, Cowboys vs. Aliens.
What'd you think of that?
Interesting movie, because the beginning it definitely lingers and gets kind of strange.
Yeah, he's got that thing locked onto his hand the whole movie.
Hot Irish girl, too. What's her name?
Yeah.
Olivia Wilde.
Oh, yeah.
But, it's a cool premise. And you think Ford and Daniel Craig are pretty big-time actors.
We're pretty big actors, me and Daniel Craig. I'm 70 years old. I'm in the new Star Wars.
That's my Harrison Ford.
It's certainly better than his Indiana Jones, Shia LaBeouf.
Kingdom of part-time. Are you a teacher? Part-time.
Part-time. I don't know why I'm doing this movie. These movies are terrible.
But, yeah, Cowboys and Aliens is probably better than the fourth Indiana Jones, but we need to.
Yeah, I'll throw some pictures on the interwebs.
Yeah, we're gonna throw a lot on Retrocade.
Lacto coolers.
We'll put them all on the Retrocade podcast page. Listen, guys, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Went a little longer because we missed 2 weeks straight.
Catch up for lost time, but it's good to be back on the interwebs.
Definitely, we'll be back next week. Remember, guys, if you like what you hear, give us a like, a subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Retrocade Podcast. I update articles about cool stuff. I'm always posting stupid pictures. You guys, like and subscribe. And come in on the conversation. I love to chat back with everybody. We both love to comment, replying and everybody. And we also have the YouTube channel. It's up. We don't have anything on there yet, but you can go and subscribe. And then when the stuff starts rolling in, you'll be able to go check it out on there. Of course, we're on Stitcher, iTunes. Give us maybe a review on iTunes if you can. Really helps us out. And that's it. Give us a like on Facebook too, Retrocade Podcast. Guys, that's it for this week. I appreciate it. We appreciate it, and hope you enjoyed. And keep watching the stars.